Well, we're going to make a potato dish, so I don't have a name for this dish. It's just potatoes, and the main ingredient is bacon. It's going to give it a nice flavor, and the mushrooms, ricotta cheese, shallots, cranberries for a little different flavor in there, which is going to work. A little nutmeg, a little thyme, and a couple other items I'm throwing in there, which will be on the recipe. Well, salt, pepper, of course, and then I just purchased this mandolin because I've been slicing everything by knife, and I go, you know what, it's all in the equipment, just like with bowling, with archery, with canoeing, kayaking, anything. The better equipment you have, the easier the job. So I've got one of these nice little stainless steel mandolins, and this will slice the potatoes for me. Now, it's not that I'm lazy what I'm going to do today, but I'm not going to peel the potatoes. Why? I haven't made this recipe before. I want to see if it really matters that the potatoes be peeled or not. So I was going to peel them, but this is a test for me. And after all is said and done, I'll let you know if it really matters. But it might matter to some people because they don't want to see maybe the color of the skin in the dish. Well, it's going to be cooked in a pie plate, like so. Most people have this, that's why I chose it, instead of using, well, some other type dish. So, and it's going to be baked in the oven, and it's fairly simple. There may be a lot of ingredients, but they're all going to work together, I promise you. Because look what you have. Potatoes work with mushrooms, mushrooms work with bacon, bacon works with shallots, shallots work with ricotta cheese works with cranberries, cranberries work with the potatoes. So if everything works together, it's got to come out good. So let me start. I'm going to slice the potatoes. I'm going to put salt and pepper in the potatoes, mix a little olive oil, or you can use butter, but you know, it's like too much butter. And then you got the grease from the bacon. That's why I'm cooking the bacon with the mushrooms, because you don't want to put the mushrooms in raw. It'll water down the dish too much. So let's get started. So first thing to do, have everything ready, because when you slice the potatoes, they're going to turn color, and you want to like mix everything together immediately. So we're going to cook the bacon. It's easier to chop up the bacon after it's cooked. And the mushrooms, they can be chopped up a little too. And the shallots are in big pieces, but since it's with the bacon, I'll just chop everything up. Now, it's up to the individual with this item. And I'm referring to the grease on the bacon. There are people that love bacon and love the flavor of the bacon. Now, I don't really care, but I'm going to drain this so the bacon grease does come off. But for those who like the bacon grease, the flavor, leave it and cut down, or maybe you're not going to put any olive oil in at all. So, you're going to cook that. And of course, you got to put a little seasoning in there, which is going to be salt and pepper. So sprinkle a little salt. If you have sea salt, do it. And a little pepper. Which now I can't find. I still don't have this place organized after Sandy. So I'm doing my best. And that's why I'm not measuring things. Can't find my scale, so that's the best I can do. And a little pepper. So you don't have to waste time watching this. It's on a moderate flame, and you just cook this until the bacon is cooked, and you'll know when that is, because you know how to cook bacon. And everything else will be cooked, then we'll chop it up. Well, it's been about 10 minutes. And you know what? It is a great topping just to put this on top of a piece of chicken. And You know, like when you make lasagna, people sometimes put raw products into it. It becomes all watery. And that's one of the reasons I'm cooking all of this together, plus the flavors blend well. The shallots, of course, have water in them. Mushrooms have water in them. So if you cook them, it's going to be dry like this in the potatoes, look good, and also taste good. So I'm going to give this another minute, and then I'm going to chop everything up a little bit. Okay, I minced everything up. Not so fine that you can't see it. So the pieces are like so. Now I'll put them back in here because we're going to add to this some of the dry ingredients. So it's blended here, and then after I slice the potatoes, toss this in with the potatoes into a pan, be less mixing. So we have here the nutmeg, the thyme, and the cranberries, and we'll hold off with the Parmesan cheese and the grated cheese. So now this is ready. Now, go slice the potatoes, either do it by hand or by machine. So let me get on that next. So, that's about the thickness you want. Okay? Is that like a little under 1/4 of an inch or so? Anyway, so I'm going to put into here all the potato. When you get down to the end, be very careful. We don't want any pieces of flesh in there, like so. So you do that and fill this up with potatoes. Mix everything with it, and then we'll bake it off. So all the potatoes are sliced, and I made looks like the right amount. And we take all of this, put it into a bowl, and we're going to have to mix this up and make sure we do a nice job of mixing. Now, this has to be seasoned, so just look at how the pepper's going in there. I'm using black pepper because I like it, plus you can see it. And this is they call it shaker grind, close to butcher grind. It's not as fine, but then not as coarse as the coarse grind. And of course, we have to put some salt, sea salt if you have it. Sprinkle salt. You can see how much is going in there. You can put more or less. Now we're going to taste this, and then you're going to pour over to that some butter or olive oil. But first, since I didn't drain these like I said I was going to do, so I lied, because I didn't see that much fat in there. So now we put all of this into the mix. That's going to be good. After it goes in the dish, then I'm going to pour in the heavy cream. And the amount of heavy cream is just to almost cover it. So we get this little bit of ricotta that we're going to use. I'll save the Parmesan cheese for the top. No, I won't. I want to mix it in because I don't want it to be all crusty and burnt on top. So there. Now I saw how much grease there was from the bacon. It wasn't a lot. So we're going to put some olive oil in there, or you can use butter. And now I'll mix this. I'm not going to waste film on mixing it because I'm going to get my hands in there right now and really toss it around. Now this took a lot of time to just, if you notice, every slice has to be separated from the other slice. So all the seasoning and everything gets in every piece. So just place it in there. And if it comes over the top, that's okay. You know it's going to shrink a little. Try to get the sweet potatoes. And even before I even get this done, I never did it before, but I know it's going to be tasty. Because after you mixed it, which I did, you lick your finger. And what your fingers taste like is what this is going to taste like. And there was enough seasoning in there, so I wouldn't add any more. Now we'll just go like so. This might even look like a pie when it gets done. The oven has been preheated to 400 degrees convection oven, which really makes it 375. And now I'm going to put it in there, and I will check it in about a half hour. And if the top has a nice light brown color to it, then I'm going to put aluminum foil over it because we don't want it to darken anymore. And heavy cream is going in right now. We're going to measure it. I always taste the heavy cream before I use it, just to make sure it's still good. Now that's a cup. Nice and easy. Just pour it all over. And you can see how shiny the potatoes are. That means there's enough grease on them, so you don't have to add any more. I know this is fattening, but you know, sometimes you want to make something that everybody will go crazy over. Hopefully this is one of those things. Come on, lay down there right. Stick to that. That's it. I'm going to put it in the oven, set the timer for a half hour, and then come back and look at it. Okay, a half hour has passed. This, I don't want to get any darker in color because then these will be like potato chips. So I'm going to wrap it in aluminum foil, put it back in the oven. But we want to check now to see how much longer we have to cook it. So you pierce it, very firm in there. That means we need at least another half hour. So we'll put aluminum foil over it and just put it back in the oven. Also remember, when you put this in the oven, put a pan wrapped in aluminum foil under it, larger than this, just in case it might drip over. Keeps everything clean. So that's been an hour, and there we go. We did have a little mess in the oven, so it's a good thing I did put a pan under it. Look at that, easy in, easy out. Then you know it's done, and the top pieces are still, see, soft, because you don't want potato chips. Now, you could make these in little ramekins also, individual, but it's nice like this. Finish it off with some fresh chopped parsley. Just put that on the table with your with the rest of your meal, your little whatever, and some red pepper for color. And there you go. Now, let's take a nice spoonful, because I'm always excited when I make something that I've never, not that I haven't, cooking like this I've done, but with these ingredients I've never done, so I want to get a taste of this. So cut a chunk out. You know, it's still nice and moist in there. And I'm going to have this with some kind of meat later. Nice, moist, and very hot. So let me just blow on this for a second. And wait. All those flavors blended well together. Very different. I like it. The bacon isn't overpowering. The cream, of course, is great in there. And that's it. The potatoes are soft. So enjoy.